Hey there, Poppies! Ariane here. I am cosplaying Sarah from Genshin Impact, and welcome to HANIPOP. Same thing. The aim of this project is to give the spotlight to our local cosplayers, content creators, artists, crafters, and other people who contribute to the Philippine hobby, anime, and pop community. Do you remember the iconic anime cosplays you encounter as you scroll down your timeline, if you ever see any? Do you remember seeing those in conventions as you walk through the wide halls of the event venue? Do you remember those cosplayers with very detailed costumes and their amazing weapons? They're one of a kind. Crafters have this insane amount of skill, artistry, and sheer focus on their works that are worth acknowledgement for. And right now, I don't even know if I have to introduce him, since if you're part of the Filipino cosplay community, it's unlikely that you haven't heard of him. He's just that good. However, he's more than a crafter. He also owns a photography studio called Melting Pot Studios, and he's very successful in all of his field of expertise. But today, we'll be focusing on the main field, which is crafting. With 12,000 followers on his Facebook page, let him be the one to discuss more about his passion. Ladies and gentlemen, our very own Gelo Grayson.
Hey everyone, my name is Gelo Grayson. I'm a professional cosplay crafter, and welcome to my workshop. Hello. Alright, so for today we'll be answering a few questions, and we're also going to be talking about a few tips that I'm able to share, and I hope you guys enjoy. So let's get to questions. Number one, so when did I start crafting and starting your workshop? Alright, these are two separate answers for you guys. So I started crafting long before I actually got into the cosplay community. I started by making scale models. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but if you make scale model of tanks, boats, soldiers, and then you just build them together, you know, just like Gunpla. And then you build them together, you paint them, and then you sometimes put them in the diorama. That's what I used to do back in grade school and high school, okay? Honestly, that's where I got my crafting start, into actually just making things, okay? And I guess the very first time I actually got into cosplay crafting was around 2014, so that's around about, oh boy, 6-7-ish years? I'm not really sure. But yeah, I transitioned from doing scale models to full-on just props and costumes. I actually started, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, with the workshop itself, it didn't get started until 2016 when I converted my my then bedroom into a, a cosplay making machine, and oh boy, it got really dusty and I had to sleep in the dust, and it wasn't comfortable, but I was able to make a lot of stuff there, and it's still one of my favorite places to work. Right now it's just a bedroom, but right now I'm glad that we have this now, which I got around last year, 2020. That's how the workshop got started, bit by bit, and I just feel very lucky that I have a very supportive family, and I'm able to have all this. There we go. Next question. Let's see. So what was the first craft or prop that I made, and what was it for? Alright, so the very first thing that I made was a Nightwing mask, okay? Actually, hold on. I think I do have a sample here. Anyway, I made that back in 2014, I think, because I wanted to cosplay Nightwing, and I wanted to find a way to make it nice and conform to my face. So I went to National Bookstore. I got one of these masks actually, and what I did was I just drew as best as I can. Then what I did was I just simply cut that out, painted it black, slapped it on my face, and oh boy, it turned out really good. I had that mask for around 2 years until it broke down because of all the sweat and everything. But I swear, that was one of my favorite projects. I was super proud of that back then. And yeah, that's it. So what was the hardest prop that I ever made and who was it for? Explain why it was the hardest. Alright, so I think the hardest prop that I've ever made was Genji from Overwatch, and it was for me! That took around, I believe, 2 years or more to actually get to the state that it is right now. I put in so many things, so many different techniques and so many different processes into that project, and so I included 3D printing, foam crafting. I even hired somebody to make the the fabric pattern, and I had somebody do rubberized silk screening, and that was really very involved project, and all hands on deck. All of the skills that I wanted to bring to the table. That was why it was the hardest, and I'm still very proud of that project, and I hope to be able to wear it soon, and then maybe I could take maybe do a photo shoot outside in the studio. Who knows? But Genji is totally one of my favorite ever projects. All right. Oh, which prop was I most proud of making? Well, there's Genji, but you know, honestly, I think the most proud. The project I'm most proud of is Noelle over here. She was my Genji of 2020, okay? So I was able to do some foam crafting, a lot of 3D printing. I had our fashion designer friend who works next door create the skirt and the bow. I learned a lot from this project. I learned how to properly cast and mold gems manually without the 3D printer yet, the resin printer. Yeah, it was honestly another very great learning experience for me as a cosplay crafter, and yeah, super proud of that. It's also one of my very first cross-playing projects, and still super proud of that. Which instrument would you recommend for crafters to buy to make things easier for them, and how much? Alright, hold on. Alright, this is the instrument I would recommend every crafter to buy. This is called a flute, and I'm just kidding. So, the instrument that I would recommend our crafters to buy first, before the 3D printers, before the SLA printers, is an airbrush. So an airbrush and a compressor, okay? So you could have a 3D printer, sure, yes, but honestly, if it boils right down to it, if you want to make really great stuff and get a really nice paint finish on it, I would super recommend an airbrush. You don't have to go break the bank by buying like an Iwata airbrush with a very expensive compressor, which would cost you a lot, quite frankly. You could even just go on Shopee and just buy one of the KK Moon airbrush compressor sets, which more or less they go at about 1,500 for a good airbrush, and around 6,000 pesos for a compressor from Hobbyworks, and that can get you miles with your crafting. You can get, there are different kinds of like shadings that you could actually play around with, and you can mix your own colors, and honestly, that in itself gives you so much power to just, you know,
don't fuck with me! I am the power
Airbrush, compressor.
my side! Wait,
you know, put things, you know, in a more, I don't know, colorful, not sure. But yeah, I would recommend the airbrush, not a very, at least, especially at this point in time in 2021, it's actually getting easier to buy an airbrush. So buy one, I super duper recommend it. It's gonna change your life, promise. And then you buy the 3D printers. All right, so we've come to the very end of the video. Okay, so I just want to plug this shop. Well, this is Gelo Grayson Props. If you want to order or you want to commission something for me, you could just message me on my Facebook account or on my Instagram. I will try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. depending on how busy I am, because I am extremely busy, especially now that it's October to December. Quite the busy few months for me here in the workshop. But rest assured, I will try to get back to you as soon as I can, okay? You can also follow me on my, just follow me on my Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Yes, you can look for me at Gelo Grayson Props. I will be also streaming on Twitch very soon. Just look for Gelo Grayson. I am currently streaming on Facebook, and that's going to be one stream every 2 weeks. Yeah, I'll be transitioning to Twitch right after that, okay? So, I guess that's it. Thank you very much for having me, and it's been a pleasure to just, talk about cosplay crafting like this. It's always so fun to just show people how fun it is to actually make something, and to me, that's one of the best things that you can do. I can actually show you guys as a crafter how fun it is just to make all of this cool stuff. Anyway, yes, I hope this inspires you guys to actually get into some more crafting, and yeah, I guess that's it. All right, everybody, thank you very much and take care. Bye.
And that's all for tonight's episode. Once again, we would like to thank everyone who supports this project. And if you're interested in becoming a host, being featured, or simply share your talents, feel free to send us a message here in this page. It is an honor to be your host for tonight. Once again, I am Ariane Gojo, and this is HANIPOP. Click like, follow for more amazing content. Bye!